Okay, so we're all in. This is the VSphere client. If you open up under students, you'll probably see your username. If you don't, if you click up here and under student, you'll probably see your username. Either one, find your folder. You probably can only see your folder, which makes sense. I, as an instructor, can see everybody's machines, and I can open up and work at anybody's computers. Whoever ACM14 is, he's got a lot of boxes here. Find your folder. Okay, mine is Cottrell, clearly. Right-click your folder and pick New Virtual Machine. If you can't find your folder, you can search for it, and it will find it this way. Once you find it, right-click your folder, New Virtual Machine. This is the New Virtual Machine wizard. You have to walk through this step by step to build the VM. There are many places for failure along here. So pay attention, do what I'm doing. If your machine lags out and I'm ahead of you, let me know, and I'll stop and wait for you to get caught up. Okay, so we've got several choices here. I'm going to create a new virtual machine. Next it. Right-click your folder, new virtual machine. Anybody else? All right. What's your username, Michelle? Yeah, search for username. Yeah, if you can't find it, click here, go under students. It's alphabetical. Cool. Anything else not good? Ah, yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, so we're going to create a new virtual machine. Next it. Give it a name. Windows 10, your last name is great. I like to name my virtual machines with the OS that I'm using, the operating system I'm using, and some way to identify them. So give it some good name. Doesn't matter if it repeats in someone else's machine, that's not going to be an issue. So just give it a good name. Make sure your folder's selected, which it should be, and next it. Under students, do you guys see all three of these options? Okay, randomly pick one. Okay, basically 3 servers, just pick one. And if we randomly pick one, we should spread our servers out. If there's some problem with it, this won't succeed down here. There should be a problem, or shouldn't be a problem for any of them. Next it. You probably don't see faculty. You're going to select students. Do not select ISO. You're going to select students. Look at the capacity we got for you guys, 120 terabytes. And roughly half of it's provisioned right now. That's a lot of space. So make sure you pick students. I, as faculty, can pick either. Compared to Google, yeah. ISO is where we put the operating system disks. You don't want to try to install there. So pick students. I'm going to pick faculty. You guys pick students. Next it. This is fine. Yeah, that is a lot of space, isn't it? Next, you can pick the guest operating system. Now, VM and VirtualBox, based on the name, will pick what it expects. So we're going to do Windows. We're going to pick Windows 10, 64-bit. I don't need virtualization-based security. If you don't know what it is, we'll tell you here. You can install any one of these operating systems you see here. We have ISOs for all of them. So if you want to go way back in time and play around with Windows 3.1, you can. I really don't recommend it, but you can. For Linux, we have all these available to you. So we're going to pick sure we're picking Windows 10, 64, and the next. Okay, now here's where we can really screw some things up. We have a lot of things that have to be done right here. This gives us the defaults. Let's kick these down a little bit to use a little less resources, because this Windows 10 box, we're not doing a lot with it. So I can kick the CPU down. You can kick the RAM down, but I'm going to leave it at 4 for now. That's fine. We have enough. Do not increase this. No, that's honestly our physical CPUs. Yeah. Do not kick this up. Unless your instructor says to increase this RAM, leave it alone. Do not increase it. Because we're sharing RAM across a whole bunch of computers. And if we do run out of RAM, the core shut down. 32 gig is sufficient big. This network's really important. This would be called a VLAN. If it's not at 42, hit your drop, browse, and search for a VLAN 42. You can filter that up here with just a 42. We're going to talk more about switches in our networking class, but this essentially 42 gets you internet access. And make sure it's connected. If it's not connected, you won't be connected to the network when it starts up, and you'll have to physically connect it every time, and that's really obnoxious. New DVD drive, this is really important. We'll do this right. So I'm going to expand my flippy triangle next to the new CD DVD drive. Yeah, hard disk is fine at 32. We're not going to install much on here. Windows itself takes about 16, so we'll have plenty of space. So I need to pick a data store ISO. An ISO is a file copy of like a CD or DVD. Pick ISO, look for Windows 10, and pick this Windows 10 multiple edition, blah, 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 okay? Super important. Super important. Super important. Check on Connect and Power On. Last term I taught a desktop operating systems classes, and there were 20 people in the class, and I think 5 people missed that. And that's 5 people email me, "Well, it doesn't work, it doesn't work." Check it on. If you don't check Connect and Power On, you're not connected to the DVD. It's like trying to install Windows without installing the physical DVD into your machine. Yes. So you've picked Data Store ISO. You've picked Windows 10. You pick this weird EN Windows 10. EN is English. Windows 10 is Windows 10. Multiple editions means this is the European version, which is Windows 10. This is Home. This is Pro, 64, 80-bit, or 64, 32, etc. And you connect the power on. You got it, Michelle? Okay. Nothing we need to do. This will help us before we finish up. We're going to add a new device. We're going to pick USB controller and make sure it's USB 2. So we have both a 2.0 and a 3.0 USB controller. That's going to make the mouse work right at the beginning. If you forget that, you won't be able to see your mouse cursor. And let me tell you, that's a fun game to use the invisible mouse on Windows. Yeah, you tab around. It isn't pretty. So make sure you add that new device in USB 2.0. Now, there's something I do that the other instructors don't do. I go to VM options because this gives me some flexibility later on when stuff breaks. So I go to VM options. I go to boot options. And I give us a boot delay of 5,000 milliseconds, which is 5 seconds. Yeah, I'll be right there, Randy. Better. What this does is this pauses the VM on booting. It'll sit at the BIOS screen for 5 seconds. If you want a little bit longer, kick this number up. This is really important when we're trying to install an operating system and things go wrong. This gives us the ability to click inside the VM and press whatever button it tells us to press to boot from the ISO. 8 times out of 10, you don't need it. The 2 times out of 10, if you don't have it, you have exactly 0 milliseconds to click inside the screen and press the button. That's fun. I've seen people pull it off, but it's rough. And it's rougher here when we're virtual through a web client onto a web client. Okay, so back here in VM hardware, someone asked for the add new device USB drive is here. You don't have to do 2 of them. Just make sure you have that one and you got USB 2 and 3 down here. All right, so we should be good to go. Next it. It tells us what you just did. Windows 10 name, what folder it's in, the host you chose, the guest OS system name, whether you turn on security, CPUs, RAM, etc. Make sure you've done this correctly. Make sure you match pretty much what I have with the exception of faculty. Yours will say students. If you make a change or if you screw this up, we can fix it later. This is not chiseled in granite that's, you know, next to 2 burning bushes. It's very flexible. We're going to hit finish. All right, so you've created a virtual machine. Expand your folder, you'll see it there. Try this again. This time instead of remote console, we're going to click the web console. I told you the wrong thing. So we're going to click the green triangle. We're going to click launch web console. We're going to click in the back black box. Press a key. You got to make sure you click inside that black box and you press a key. This is now a standard Windows install screen. If you've installed Windows before, this isn't really any different than anything else except it's inside of a window. So we're going to do next. Anybody not here? Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. Next, install. The mouse will get better. Right now, there are no mouse drivers installed. That's why we picked USB 2. Had we not picked USB 2, you probably wouldn't see the little hourglass. So now we need a key. The key we're going to get from here. We were using something called key management software on Windows. Okay. We're installing Windows 10, so we're going to need to put this key in. For Windows Server 10 or Windows 2010. No, Windows 10. So you can't, unfortunately, you can't copy and paste in there, so you just have to type it. I gave you the link for it. Here's the codes. Type it. I'm see if I can get them both on the screen at the same time. Oh yeah, I can read that. W269 N WFGWX YVC 94 J69 T83GX. Now, don't get all excited and think I've given you the key to Windows. This will only work inside of a scenario where you have key management software. Once you enter and hit next, if you've typed it right, it'll move on. If you've typed it wrong, you'll have to figure out what you did wrong. These Windows key, yeah, we all put in the same key league. These Windows keys are all 25 characters long, 5-digit numbers. These are for people that are using the key management system. And I think they change every year, because it looks different the last time I did it. But again, this will not work at home. This will not work on your laptop. This only works inside of a virtual machine scenario or a network that has key management system set up. Okay, so now we accept the terms. We next it. On the screen, very careful. Everybody with me before I blow through here? Not yet. It's okay. I can live with caps. I think I should turn off the webcam, actually. Eating up a lot of internet at this point. Yeah, 2 monitors is amazing. Especially when you start running multiple VMs. You've got 1 VM on each screen. Bouncing back and forth between them. Dustin, you good? Okay, you're good. And these product keys are easy to screw up. If you can't get it in, you have that I don't have a product key button you can press. It'll let you go through and install it temporarily. It'll let you several days without a key. Okay, so when you're on the Windows setup, read this screen, especially if you start installing servers, because Windows Server has an option that doesn't give you the Windows. That's called a Core OS. So RTFS, very carefully. We're going to do a custom. Okay. Since we've never installed anything on this machine, just reconnect it, Michelle. Just go back to here and reconnect it. If you'd install Windows in this box before, we'd have different drive space. We'd have to just delete them and go forward. Since it's the first install, just pick drive 0, next it, and now we wait. And I'm going to stop the recording until we all get to the next screen. Click Custom.